it's hot in there. Um, Dang, my daughter's still up. Yo, we can switch. All right. Okay, we got 2,000 viewers in the chat. W's in the chat. Um, I just wanted to get on here, and I'm gonna chop it up later, right? Um, and I wanted to shed light on what a real student of the game looks like what a real musician looks like. Somebody, dang, I didn't mean to close that hell out. Somebody who perfects his craft, somebody who studies the people that came before him, somebody who studies the new guys, who understands that music is this big thing, like genres are important. That just understands that you have to be a constant student, right? So I have a couple points in the video that I want to just listen to and then talk about, right? And I don't really know if this is how reactions work. I don't know if I'm supposed to just rock, you know what I'm saying? Just let it play. But that's kind of OD because it's on 3 hours long. So let's listen.
That I saw the musicians.
So right now, I think this is Tank. Tank, I don't know the other nigga name. I'm gonna be 100. Tank is pretty much explaining his beginnings and what he saw coming up as a young musician. I think he's from the East Coast, but listen.
Being, if not more, just as important as the production. As I'm in there with Warren Campbell, like, what are you doing? What is all? Why do you need all of this shit?
Yeah.
Like a room full of everything, and he could play it all.
He's talking about Warren Campbell, right? So Warren Campbell, Jay Valentine. Warren Campbell. What Warren Campbell sing? Let's see. Cause he's talking about a legend, right? What this nigga Warren Campbell sing? Damn, Warren Campbell ain't got no songs? Cause I definitely just typed in Warren Campbell. I thought we would know this nigga. I thought I knew Warren Campbell. Don't worry about that part.
Everything.
And it was all in the song.
And he don't stop smiling while he do it. It's amazing.
Battle Cat is just on everything. And I'm
Everything.
like, I was working with my Caviar and Overdose, Fort Knox. They got the guitar. Nigga got the horn. I'm like,
he's talking about these old school dudes, right? That played everything, that was able to get on the guitar, that was able to get on the keyboard, and was able to mix down these records. And that's so important because only the greats do that. That's something that we see throughout history. Prince, Michael Jackson, all of these dudes were able to move in the studio freely and get those ideas out because they were well versed. They studied.
nigga, what? I'm talking about
playing full instruments.
fresh off of selling something into the studio to play music. Right? And then as I reflect on my OG, he used to take me to a jazz night. Big Flint used to take me to a jazz night. I think it was on Mondays or Tuesdays in the hood. And say, nigga, we going to hit some music. Nigga, I was like, we are? You are?
You are?
You like music? Nigga, shit. Nigga, we going full jazz.
Shout out to Big Flint.
Come on, man. Like, and so when I got to this, I was like, and that was a question I wanted to ask you before we do the deep back dive. You know what I'm saying? Like, how has that always remained a staple for the West, where the musicianship is just always the leader, whether it be Snoop, whether it be Kendrick Lamar, whether it be Dre, whether it be what? It's always the music and the musicians.
I don't like that dangling earring he got,
like
though.
me, well, I can speak on my kind of view, which may not be everybody's thing, but it's a lot of people's thing. Me, myself, Thundercat, Kamasi Washington,
Legends, all legends.
a few of us, you know, but we grew up in musician households. And I was telling my son the other day, I said at one point I thought everybody played music, because literally in South Central LA, every third house in the 80s was a musician, because people moved here from the South and different places to do what? To do records. You know what I'm saying? So like I always say, you know, the 70s probably was the most happiest times for black folks in music. Funk music makes so many people rich, you know what I'm saying? And the early 80s, I remember seeing as a kid, the early 80s, me going to different people's houses in View Park. It wasn't regular, but it wasn't out of the norm for me to see somebody in Ladera Heights, that father is a producer, not even a famous producer, but have an SSL in his living room. Like, that wasn't
Shit.
that was regular. That was and this was a black man. Because I grew up in South Central. I grew up in Inglewood and View Park and Baldwin Hills, all these places. So I think with the music, the music is such a big part of Los Angeles culture. Like, Barry White's from the hood. Like, it's like, I always tell, somebody just asked me the other day, man, I don't like to do this, but somebody did ask, you know, what do you feel the difference is between DJ Quick and Battle Cat? And that, you know, I hate doing that because it'll make you compare.
Right.
But it was a question and I have to give an answer. So I had to think, and I said, oh, DJ Quick is undeniably one of the greatest record producers that ever lived. Battle Cat to me is undeniably one of the greatest orchestrators that ever lived. Because when he writes music, when he puts together his music, it's like orchestration. It's very similar to one of my favorite composers is named Wayne Shorter. And Wayne Shorter wrote for Miles Davis, everything. But he would write on manuscript paper and save that, then maybe another day, a whole different set of paper, write another piece, and then maybe one day remember that piece of paper and that piece of paper and put it together, you know. He would have a concept of nothing is trash. Nothing is trash musically. And when I seen Battle Cat compose, like I seen him
Shout out Miles
work
Davis.
out a bass line. baseline master. Work.
Hey, Miles, am I supposed to just let this whole thing play, or am I supposed to skip throughout the joint, right? Because I could watch this whole joke again, right?
Thanks, which I probably shouldn't. What would you do? I remember this like yesterday. And then he got to me and I was like, if I got 5,000, I'm getting a car.
So, all right, so that first beginning part to me speaks volume to pause and talk. Okay, yeah, I'm not about to pause and talk for the whole 3 hours, right? But that first part of the video spoke to me and let me know the student, the craftsmanship, the studying that goes into becoming great, right? He's growing up around these legends in Los Angeles, right? And DJ Quick, Battle Cat's crazy. Battle Cat is crazy, right? Like, if we look up a Battle Cat video, oh my goodness. Let's look up a Battle. Damn, the tabs is crazy, I know, right? If we look up a Battle Cat video, that's my nigga the Chaz. Battle Cat bass. It's so crazy that this nigga, I mean, not Battle Cat, Thundercat. I'm tripping. Thundercat bass. The nigga is OD. Let's just find something that's not too crazy. Look at this nigga.
I don't understand why you're doing the most. You can love it, you can leave it. I don't understand why you're doing the most.
Granted, all right, well, let me say this. I was about to say, granted, that won't that crazy, but that kind of on a bass, right? But back to my point. These niggas are really good, and they didn't get good just by like being gifted. They been good. Like, if you look at that Thundercat, this nigga look like he practices. He looked like he practiced. This looked like a nigga that stay in his room and practice. No offense, but this was what he looks like. He looks like he knows what he's doing. You would see this thing and say, oh, he knows how to play that, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you got to look like that, but you do have to lock in. It takes a certain amount of time to become proficient at an instrument. It takes a certain amount of time to become proficient at anything. What they say? What's the saying, bro? How many hours it takes to become good at something? I don't know. A lot, though, right?
He was like,
So right here, he's talking about being, he's a horn player. He plays the horn, saxophone. He plays a whole bunch of stuff, but his main instrument is saxophone. And he's talking about how he was getting money as a sax player by gigging. But that's hard work. That's constant work. That's always being out. And the MPC came out. Short fact about the MPC. When the MPC came out, it was for the white guys. They was making techno. Boom, 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 boom. They made an MPC, I think it was 60. That joint flopped in the white community. So it ended up in a lot of pawn shops. Blacks went into those pawn shops. Oh, $50, I'm going to get this MPC. That's how hip-hop music on the MPC started coming out. The MPC is the pad joint, right?
car. And I was like, yeah, because y'all had to come get me a car.
Yeah.
He was like, man, well, he said, that's what you're going to do. He said, I would get a drum machine. I would get an MPC so I can make more money than buy me the car I want. And for some reason, that simple logic that day just went.
It's the light bulb. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Because you were thinking of the now.
Man,
and he was talking about the future.
I was gigging, man. I was
Yeah.
17, trying to play the horn, play the organ, trying to make love to who I could make love to.
Now you did. That's
And just
But the
love.
MPC takes you to another level of making love too, though, because you're making love to a different type of woman
Well-
once you have success with this MPC.
Well, yeah, and I started having kids, and I had to pay for them, so the MPC helped me a whole lot.
You're gonna have to do that too. Yeah, you gotta pay for the kids.
You it's nothing beats writing a song.
How many kids you got?
5.
Yeah, you
Wow.
really are a jazz musician. Yeah.
My oldest is 27.
Go.
Congratulations, brother.
His oldest son is 27. He's 54. And I think he's just now getting to that level of I think he's always probably felt accomplished, right? But I think now he's getting to that. What you laughing at, bro? I think he's just now getting to that level of notoriety that he thinks he deserves. You get what I'm saying? This dude studied under not Miles Davis, but shoot. I forgot guy's name. He's a jazz legend that's still alive. He studied under these great people, right? And he's just now getting that notoriety.
And my cousin's parts to songs that he wrote.
We was staying off another time what it takes to survive, cause you never master this shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, nothing, you never master nothing. You know
Always a student. That's
the
what I'm.
jazz thing, that's
what I'm talking
that's
about.
The unfortunate part about a lot of purists, that just
He's talking about right now, and this is another key moment for me, right? We have this idea of being an artist, broke artist, being hungry. Winston I don't know who that is. Let me see. Jazz, I'm gonna just type in jazz legend, still alive. That should come up. Herbie Hancock, that's what I'm talking about. He studied under Herbie Hancock. Herbie Hancock is a killer, you know what I'm saying? Real beast, real sensei level jazz musician, composer. So Terrace being 54, dang, how old is Herbie? If Terrace is 54, how old is Herbie? Herbie gotta be 90. How old is this nigga? Herbie Hancock. Pause. Hancock is age 84. Go. We don't got bro for that much longer. That's not funny, but factual, right? But right now he's talking about being. Listen.
just deal with that one. You know, it's not a lot of. I could count probably on two hands how many jazz cats could probably afford to live in a certain type home. And you know, you got Wynn Marsalis and you got all the famous guys, but I don't come from that. I come from a real
There you go, Miles.
South Central, whatever he had to do, you know.
Yeah. So he gets you the tape.
We got to edit this one.
Okay.
So my dad just passed, like, and I'm only crying because when you asked that as he died, I'm like, hey man, what are you thinking about? He had cancer. He like, man,
That's crazy.
y'all probably know, but he said, man, if I could just think of anything. I said, is it all the bitches you fuck, nigga? Nah, is it all the kids you didn't raise? All the cocaine? What was it? He was like, man, poor judgment on time. Poor judgment on who I spend time with, and poor judgment on what I think about. And that's the death to a lot of jazz musicians. That's the death to a lot of purists in general. It's like poor judgment. Thanks, bro. It's like poor judgment.
I feel like I studied him when I played trumpet. I feel like poor judgment on time and poor judgment of who you spend your time with is a silent killer of everyone, right? That's what differentiates successful people versus losers, essentially. Losers spend their time talking or doing dumb things. If we being 100, if you have a goal, if you trying to get money, if you trying to chase something, clubbing is stupid. Going out is stupid. Spending money on things that you don't need are stupid, right? All of these things don't allow you to chase that dream or get to that dream faster. The wrong people can be the death. That's a fact, exactly. Along with hanging around with the wrong people. If you're not hanging around people that's out trying to get it or trying to chase something as well, you're going to kind of gravitate, or not gravitate, but you will find yourself picking up. You are who you surround yourself with. You'll pick up off of those bad habits. You see somebody sitting on their tail, you're going to sit on your tail too. Shoot, that look cool. I'm going to sit down. when you're supposed to be chasing it, man. That's so deep, though. That's something that I struggled with coming up. I wasn't around the right crowd, right? And not that I was a follower. I was always a leader. But if you around people, you gonna lead them the wrong direction. Especially if you're a leader, you're not gonna lead them the right direction because that's not the environment you're in. It's so important, right? So if you call yourself a musician, you need to be around musicians. If you call yourself chasing a goal, you need to be around people that can propel you and help you chase that goal.
But I just thought about that, and it's just poor judgment on time, man. Cause
church,
him. I got a lot of cats that I know. I buried about 26 jazz musicians. That's what we do. Me and my homeboy.
This was cool.
They can't afford the funeral, and we learned that from. I can't say his name, but it was a cat that did it. That always paid for the jazz funerals. And people know who I'm talking about. They know, but so we.
I don't know who you're talking about, but that's sweet. I want to know who that person is, right?
Carry on that tradition, but it's like. It's a sad thing to bury a bad motherfucker. Yeah. It's a sad funeral because the obituaries always read like all these amazing artistic accolades, all these this, and they're always like they read like the almost vibe.
And almost, bro. That's so big. I got a best friend. He played tennis, and I told him, I'm like, bro. Why are you playing tennis at a lower level? Why are you not chasing this? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not chasing this? And basically, I'm trying to portray this to him. I'm like, look, bro, we don't want to be 70, 80, 90 dead. And people don't really know. People don't know what we wanted to obtain. And it ain't even about getting to the goal. Life is about chasing the goal. Once you get the goal, you just gonna make another goal, right? But my thing is, why not chase that goal? Why not dedicate your life to really chasing something? Because from my point of view, right, what is life? What's the point of living if you're not really chasing behind something? You know what I'm saying? People just really wake up and go to work and live. That's so whack. That's so draining. That's my definition of NPC. Like, dude, you really gonna wake up, go to work, go home, take care of your family, wake up, go to work, go home. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. That's boring. That's loser. And not that my best friend's a loser, but I was just really trying to let him know, like, look, if we gonna chase it, nigga, we gonna really chase that. You know what I'm saying? Let's really chase that. Let's skip that part.
That's unfortunate for them.
I feel the same way.
It's not a cheat code. Because I can't do it.
Only thing I don't like is auto-tune. That's the only thing
You know what?
So he's talking about producers that don't use instruments, that use their computer to cook up. Terrace, a legendary jazz musician, pretty much is saying, nah, that's cool. He respected. He can't do it. Cool.
I'm gonna drop you off.
I'm gonna tell, hey, he here. I'm just right there. Mama be all gone. Don't leave. Don't you. And I'm like,
this is the guy who's running this.
Steve Yanu. Yeah.
Okay.
This Dr. Dre, boy, Snoop. Everybody knows Steve Yanu. The ones know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The ones that don't know, that's why they music, because they history and they foundation shaky. That's why they records to this day is shaky. Mm-hmm. It all counts. But so
what he said was powerful when I heard it, because I'm like, I got a homeboy, right? I'm not gonna say his name. But I got an older homeboy that has a good position in music, right? When it comes to whatever, right? He has a good position in music, but he didn't grow up in the church like me. He didn't grow up in marching band, concert band, jazz band. So he doesn't have the background of music. Now, granted, he has the profession of music right now, and I'm not going to speak too much because, you know what I'm saying, that's my right hand, so I'm not going to say too much. But I always say, he always asks me, like, yo, how do I get good? How do I sound like this? Or how do I do this? And I always say, well, first you have to spend time with your instrument. Somebody commented on my YouTube the other day, was like, I'm getting off track. I told him you got to spend time with your music, right? And you have to listen to music. You have to immerse yourself. That's the word I want to use, right? You have to really submerge yourself, whatever, in music, in the history of music. And Terrace pretty much is saying that, look, he knew who Dr. Dre's whoever was. I kind of felt some type of way because I'm like, dang, I didn't know who that was. But I'm going to go do my research because it's important to hear the music that came before us because it's all repetitive. It's all foundational. If you know the blues and old gospel, you know every other genre that's current today, because every piece of music, modern music, I'll say, came from the blues or came from gospel. There's no way around it.
Steve Yano, and it's like I said Easy-E, but I said, well, I think
Easy-E's so cool.
He played a song called Boys in the Hood. I'm like, oh yeah, because my cousins that lived in Bakersfield, I had 2 fine cousins, right? I got a gang of fine cousins, but in the 80s though, they was
a different type
bad.
of
They were
fine.
different
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
fine. Basket waves and you know what I'm
Shout
saying?
out
Don't
to
do
the
it in LA, but
cousins,
they were from
man.
Bakersfield. So my mom would send me.
So he pretty much talking about Eazy-E. I first heard Eazy-E, obviously way after he was out, right? But Eazy-E so cool, bro. Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. You come talking that trash, we'll pull your car. That's so tough.
Time with the I was in the pit, and
Hey, look, man, we coming up on 26 minutes. I'm gonna stop it at 30. But if you see this reaction, it's so important that we have these platforms for Terrace Martins and the Kenneth Crouches and all of these legendary musicians that are behind the scenes. This is the nigga. If we look up his Martin, right? If we look up his discography, right? They said Cube wrote that. Maybe Cube wrote that. But I don't think that takes away from Cube couldn't have rapped it like Eazy-E, in my opinion, right? But the platforms that we have now that allow our hidden legends to speak and tell us stories are so important for people like me and people that come after me, right? If we look up these, nobody knows these, right? But these are so important to dig in because we'll see it, we'll hear it, right? But he is what album was that? Kendrick's album with King Kunta on it, I think it was. I really want y'all to hear him talk about Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly, that's what he produced. He produced all of To Pimp a Butterfly. Not all of it, but he had his hands in most of it, right? It's just super important, bro, to listen to these legends and hear how they still claim to be students, to hear how they still practice. If you look up Miles Davis or Herbie Hancock, you can hear them, the passion that they have for practice, right? And they didn't, so you know what I'm saying? They didn't get that sweet just cause. They didn't. Yeah, bro. Y'all tap into this interview and the podcast. The podcast is sweet too. I'm gonna watch this Music Soul Child joint because I just got really put onto the podcast. And this was my first reaction as well. So y'all let me know what other reactions or what other topics y'all want to talk about. Master musician, bro. Imagine having that title. Imagine having that title. I do want y'all to see this though. These niggas is really good, bro. I watch this joint. This is really one of my favorite music niggas because he real, like, you know what I'm saying? I played this. I used to play this for my daughter when she was maybe like a month old, 2 months. She had colic. She would always cry, like mad, like all through the night type shit.
The traditional tamale.
I play this joint.
Why don't we blend the tamale?
Mind you, he's a trumpet player. I mean, he's a saxophonist. This is a saxophonist. He's not playing a saxophone right now.
You know, the typical things in tamale.
Come on, bro.
Chicken, greens, black eyed peas, yams, and everything in a tamale. And
He named the song Tamale, but he a nigga, so he called it Bro Molly. Cool. ba 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 ba. Tough. With the vocoder, that's so Cali. With the saxophone harness still around your neck, that's so tough. I think it's really important. I don't know. I'm so passionate about musicianship and how important it is to black culture. I was talking to one of Fred Hammond's, he's in his 60s. He's played for the Canton Spirituals, and these are all people, if you don't know, you need to know these artists, the Canton Spirituals, Fred Hammond, Kurt Franklin, all of these big name gospel artists in the black community. Granted, whoever watched this might not be black, but you know what I'm saying? I'm black, so I'm gonna talk to y'all, right? So he's telling me, I'm not gonna say his name, but just know he's 60 and he's an old guitarist and he's a legend, right? And I'm talking to him and he's talking to me about musicianship and how the way we grow up in church is playing by ear. I've played every instrument I've learned by myself or through, watching and doing, not through classically being trained, right? And that's cool, and that gets us the soul, that gets us the feeling, that gets us something that can't be bought, or taught. But he was telling me about, and it's obvious if you get on Instagram, you'll see it, but you'll see other races playing black gospel music very well on top of being classically trained. And so one thing I'm going to die on, a hill I'm going to die on, is using my platform and building communities that allow younger black musicians to be taught the way they should be taught at a foundational level. Because what's happening, and this is what he was telling me, what's happening is these guys are coming from other countries. These guys are coming from other communities with the classical training. And all it takes is a little studying, and you can get close to what soul is. You can get close to it. You know what I mean? It might not be better than A, B, and C, but when it comes to getting those gig calls, when it comes to Fred Hammond calling his phone, he had just showed me 5 unreleased Fred Hammond tracks. When it comes to getting those phone calls, you have to be trained. You have to know how to record yourself. You have to know the theory that goes behind it. You know what I'm saying? My boy, the guy, LaChaz, right? LaChaz Holloway. And this my guy, bro. I'm on FaceTime with him 3 weeks ago. Who he play for? LaChaz plays for a lot of people, right? But whatever. I think he plays for Tank, matter of fact. Yeah. God's blessed, right? The guy knows what he's doing. But he lacks the theory. Now, he's in a great position because he's already in the industry. He already knows how to maneuver. He already has the contacts. But imagine the damage he could do if he can know exactly what chords he's building and not have that ear. Us as black musicians, we depend on that ear. And I'm preaching to myself right now just because I feel like it's that important, right? But I mean, bro, that's the hill I'm gonna die on, man. We got to get back to the roots. We got to dig. We got to know our history because they know our history more than us. And if we don't think that's scary, if we haven't learned that lesson already, if we look at this, K-pop, R&B, let's just type in K-pop, R&B. I don't even got to do too much. If I just type in K-pop, bro, hold on. Let's just type in K-pop. I don't even know the K-pop people, right? But if we just look at it, it just looked like us. It looked like this is probably $1 billion industry. Maybe this. Come on, man. Hey, look, man. I'm not gonna talk too much because I don't want y'all to cancel me. But that's my hill I'm dying on, man. We got to get back to it. And yeah, man. Thanks for the 2,000. I think we had 3,000 people in here. W's in the chat for y'all. Study. Let's get back to it, man. I'm out.